Do you find yourself bringing charting home on the evenings and weekends? Is your EMR inbox in the triple digits, overflowing with results and paperwork? Are the overwhelm and stress palpable, weighing on your shoulders? Do you wish there was an opportunity to get the coaching and accountability you need, the tips and tricks, the framework to get your work done at work and to lift that weight off your shoulders? Well, good news. The Charting Mastery course and group coaching program are here for you. Get on the wait list so you are one of the first to know when the next cohort comes around. I can't wait to see how this makes a difference for you and your charting. Learn more and enroll today at coaching.mededwell.com/charting. That's coaching.mededwell.com/charting. You're listening to the Wellbeing in Medicine podcast, helping physicians and others in medicine thrive. More than simply supporting your wellness, you will be empowered to take back your agency and optimize your charting, mindset, and more. I'm your host, pediatrician and life coach, Dr. Ryan Stedjink. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of what is now called the Wellbeing in Medicine podcast. I started a little over 2 years ago with the MedEdWell podcast, talking about education around wellness in medicine. And as I've gone through this journey, I've realized a few things. I've realized that I am really passionate about helping physicians and others in medicine, because I don't just work with other physicians. I work with amazing nurse practitioners, physician assistants, nurses, medical assistants, and other clinical staff. And I recently had the opportunity to give a talk at my clinic systems all-staff meeting. It was entitled Recharge and Thrive. And it was really a great opportunity for me to see how talking about mindset, about talking about well-being, and about talking about how we take steps forward individually and as a system, advocating for ourselves, pushing the system to make changes when it's not serving our well-being, because wellness is often the individual things, the things that you can do, that I can do, and it's still really important. And yet, if the system is set up in a way that is really just pressuring you to go faster, not giving you the time that you need to take what you know to be good care of patients, that is hurting your well-being. And so well-being is having the support. It's designing and pushing for system change in a way that allows each of us to continue to move forward. And so that's why I've renamed the podcast the Wellbeing in Medicine podcast, because this is about well-being in medicine from a physician's perspective, but for everyone. We're going to talk about charting things still, about how to get your work done at work so that you can get home sooner for what matters most to you. We're also going to talk about mindset, about how our thoughts dictate how we experience the world. Because things may happen, hard things happen, and yet what we let that mean, how we choose to respond, when certain hard things happen, I want to feel sad. And I want to grieve. And that is healthy. And yet, if, as I've shared about the story of the miscarriages that my wife and I have been through, I grieve. And They've been some of the hardest times of my life. And yet, I've seen opportunities to help others because of what I've been through, to help others with their grief, to be sensitive to the mother bringing in their newborn, and yet looking at their history, I can see that they've had a prior loss. These things matter. They matter for me. They matter for others outside of medicine. They matter for my patients. How mindset affects and helps each of us show up in a way that's authentic, in a way that's taking care of ourselves, showing that self-compassion rather than heaping blame and shame upon ourselves. So I'll be talking about charting, mindset, and more. I'll plan to have some guests on in the new year. I had guests on in the past, and I want to expand that, talking about relationships in medicine, that affects your well-being, about leadership, about how different opportunities have been a springboard for others to say, this is how it's been, but this is not how it has to be going forward. Whether that's making change at your current employed position, whether that's making a change and seeking a different position, or starting a private practice or direct primary care, direct specialty care practice, or a private practice that takes insurance. Maybe it's some other entrepreneurial pursuit. Maybe it's an opportunity to speak or to volunteer or to be on a board. I'll be looking for guests in the next year, and if this is you and your story, and you have something to share about maybe a struggle that you had with well-being in medicine and how maybe a change in their mindset or something that's changed in your situation, those things would be great stories to tell, to amplify, to encourage others with their well-being in medicine. And so I'm bringing you this episode to let you know that you matter, to let you know that I'm looking to take the next step in my own well-being, in promoting my well-being by saying, I'm looking at my priorities. How do I help people? How do I show up and be there for my family, for myself, for my patients? One thing that I'm personally committing to doing is to improving my physical health. I talk to my patients about nutrition and healthy habits, being active, and yet with 2 young children, I've often let that slide. I'll say, I'm going to try and work out, and I do it for a couple days, and then it lapses. And yet, I know that I've needed to make a change. And so, recently, I signed up to run in May of next year, in 2024, to run a half marathon. And so if you want to follow my journey, I'll be posting about it on social media. I'm in the midst of my 2nd week of training, and I'm excited to see how this makes a difference for me, how I made a change. I got a plan, and I'm working that plan. Because if I look at just, I'm going to run a half marathon, no. This is overwhelming, and part of why I end up procrastinating on or giving up on projects too soon is because I see where it needs to be, and yet I think, I couldn't do that. And so this is my own opportunity to coach myself and to work through some of these mindset things, because I know that if I'm not taking care of my own health, those healthy habits, I won't have that well-being either. And it just helps me be more aligned with my own priorities of saying family, faith, friends, my physical health. These things all matter. And so if I just focused on the charting, getting my stuff done, and saying I'm just going to push through and get this done, which, by the way, willpower and shame are not good motivators. These things are how I reinterpret my story of, I can't do this. No, I haven't done this, but I can take that next step. About a year ago, I got a voltage tester and a GFCI outlet tester because I knew that the outlets weren't seeming to be wired in the right way. And so I learned. I asked questions. I got this tool for Christmas, and then here I am a year later, and I've learned how to wire an outlet, wire a switch, replace a ceiling fixture, put a new light fixture up. These things are all because I chose to take a step and grow. And so, as we wrap up for today, I just want to encourage you as we transition from the MedEdWell podcast to the Wellbeing in Medicine podcast. How can you take that next step in your well-being? One step could be that you take my charting efficiency checkup. It's a 2-minute quiz designed to help you learn where you're at and some resources that you could use to take your next step forward. And whether that's with mindset, whether that's with specific tools to help you finish your charting faster, because I know that I'm not the only one who struggled with this. I was burned out 8 months out of residency because I was bringing my charting home, and I know that others in my system, other physicians, nurse practitioners, PAs, and others in medicine spend extra time after their shift charting or stay late because it's just piling up. And there are strategies and tools that you can use, both physical and mental tools that you can use to help you get done faster. And I'd love to share a little bit about those as you take this quiz and get some feedback. So the charting efficiency checkup, you can access it by going to the link in your podcast player or going to coaching.mededwell.com/quiz. I want to thank you for joining me today on the Wellbeing in Medicine podcast. And I want to encourage you to consider, as this year winds down and maybe you spend some time with family, with friends, take some time and reflect. Reflect on where you've been, what you can be thankful for, and how you are going to take your next step forward in the coming weeks, in the coming months, in the coming year. And set some big goals. But then find your first step and celebrate each of those steps towards those goals. Thank you so much for all that you do. You make a difference. Have a great day. Whether you feel like you're struggling with your charting, just doing okay, or for the moment seem to have it all together, I want to invite you to take my 2-minute free quiz, the Charting Efficiency Checkup. It's designed to help you learn more about where you are and give you some resources that can help you continue to move forward and support your own well-being in medicine. Head on over to mededwell.com/quiz to get your results today. That's mededwell.com/quiz.